You're listening to the Travis Makes Money podcast presented by GoHighLevel.com. For a free 30-day trial of the best all-in-one digital marketing software tool on the planet, just go to GoHighLevel.com/Travis. What's going on, money makers? Welcome back to the Travis Makes Money podcast, where it's our mission to help you make some more money. Today on the show, I'm making friends with Gilad Uziely. He's the co-founder and CEO of Sequence, the money OS automating cash flow for small businesses and savvy consumers. Launched back in 2024, Sequence has already moved $750 million plus past 1.5 million in ARR with 600% year-over-year growth, and raised $15 million from top VCs, Aleph, Emerge, and Icon. A serial fintech builder who previously shaped data-driven products, Gilad now helps thousands of users master their money through smart automation. Gilad, what's up, dude? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm actually excited to be here.
Well, great, dude. I'm happy that you're here. First off, love the product. I know your company sponsored a couple episodes of the podcast, so I'm a little bit biased when I say that I love the product, but also I genuinely love the product. And most of the time, I do not take on sponsorships with people whose product I don't like. And the reason I liked what you do, man, is that so I'm a student of kind of like the profit first principles from Mike Michalowicz, you know. And whenever I had to do that with previous businesses, I'd have to go into the bank, and then anytime I want to do anything to any of the accounts that I have, I got to talk to my banker, and we got to, open up, close down checking accounts, saving accounts, whatever. And you can do all of that inside of Sequence. All you need is an income source, and then you can basically just write rules and tell percentages of money to go to certain places upon the triggering of income in a certain account, which has been super helpful for me in my small businesses, as well as our personal finances. We're kind of switching over from using Rocket Money to using Sequence now, even for personal finances and stuff. So love the product, love the concept, and I want to talk to you more about it specifically. But first, let's go back in time and answer the question that we start off with most of the time here on the show. Tell me how you made your first dollar ever.
So I have first of all, thanks for the introduction. Awesome. And happy that you like the product and you find it useful. First dollar ever was the typical lemonade stand, to be honest. That was very first, the typical lemonade stand.
Oh, there you go.
Just outside of my parents' house. Fit right into the cliche.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a small town just outside of Tel Aviv, Israel.
Okay. Got it. And are you still over there right now?
Yes, I'm in Tel Aviv.
Okay. There's been a massive tech boom out there in the last decade and a half, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. What do you attribute that to? Has that kind of always been kind of below the surface, waiting to pop up, or was that just something that happened recently?
I think no, definitely not recently. It's something that started here quite a few years ago, actually, and it was a combination of a bunch of stuff, like a lot of talent. There was a big wave of immigration from Russia, so we got like a huge amount of super smart scientists, mathematicians, all kind of this kind of super smart people. And I also think that it's as many things go, it just became cool to be an entrepreneur. So everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, and when everybody's giving it a go, some will be successful.
Yeah, that's true. Was it relatively simple to raise money in the kind of Israeli tech environment?
So I think that per capita, Tel Aviv is the city with the highest amount of per capita VCs.
Wow.
I'm not sure about that, but I think that I've heard it somewhere. So if it's not the most the most dense place, it's one of the most dense places in terms of raising capital. But to be honest, it's never easy. Selling a startup, and even for Sequence, the first period was a struggle because basically we are pitching something that doesn't exist.
Sure.
Never easy.
Are you the tech guy, Gilad, or do you have somebody who's on the team that does the tech?
No, so we are three co-founders that have been through quite an interesting journey. I'm the CEO, so I bring experience in business development and partnerships and all that and financing and all that. I have Oren, my co-founder, he's the CTO, and Tom, who leads the product and design.
Okay, got it. So you have product design, you have tech, and then you have CEO. and that was kind of the co-founder team. What number venture is this for you?
Depends if you count the lemonade stand or not.
I always count it, bro.
But,
I count everything.
So to be honest, too many to count. I've done all kind of businesses. I'll turn 45 soon, and I had like a pay slip or like a W-2 for like 2 years of my life. I've always built stuff on my own. I always tried things. Most of them didn't work, but I've learned a lot through them. And yeah, I'm a lousy employee, to be honest. I don't have the motivation. And people who interview me can I'm not really good at hiding it. So they catch me quickly.
You can't fake it during the interview until you get the job. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. When you moved over to Sequence, was Sequence the first venture that you had raised outside capital for, or was this kind of a path you've already been down before?
No, I've been through that path before. I've raised money on two different types of businesses. One is real estate, real estate, and actually focusing on hotels. Okay. So we have a couple of small boutique hotels in Italy. Because my wife is Italian, so that was actually easy. Like everybody wants to invest in a hotel in Italy,
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy when you can just point to other projects in the same space and just be like, "This is what we're going to do, and it's going to be this project, and we know it's going to cash flow this much because of this reason and that reason." It's a little bit different when you're like, "Hey, I have this idea that's in my brain, and I think that if we get it out into the world, people might use it. Maybe." You know what I mean? And I don't know exactly how we're going to make money, and I don't know exactly how many people are going to use it, but I think it might work,
So no, spot on. I think that's exactly why I love startups so much, right? Because it's uncharted territory, It's like I don't know, Christopher Columbus years ago. You are going to where no one has been before, and that's really, really exciting. But when it comes to raising money, it's hard, right? Because you need to find somebody who sees the world or has a vision that is similar to yours. Most people don't. So it's much harder, right? Because you don't have the cookie cutter.
Yeah. Well, and something that I think is interesting is that the VC world is far removed from the world of entrepreneurship, even though they are intertwined completely. Meaning that sometimes the VCs that you're talking to, they're not the scrappy self-starter entrepreneurs. They're the, Stanford MBAs who have had a job the majority of their career. Not to say this is a better path or a worse path. I'm just saying that it's sometimes difficult because you don't speak the same language, because you're talking to like a 26-year-old data analyst who graduated from Ivy League school, and if you don't speak that same language, you're just a person who decided to start a company, then sometimes it can be difficult to communicate the vision of what you're looking to do, because it's completely unconventional, and those people sometimes are trained to be in the conventional paths more than anything else.
Yeah, first of all, I agree, and I think that two comments. One, our lead investor went through the path. So it really gives amazing feedback and really helped me to become a better CEO and a better entrepreneur.
Like he was a founder before?
Yeah, he was a founder. Okay. He sold his first company to Facebook. He's been through that path. So that's great. And then I also think that finding an investor is a bit like finding a spouse, right? Husband, wife, whatever, because you need to find somebody who sees the world like you do, that buys into your vision. So it's it's like getting married.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if it's venture capital money, because they take some priorities in your cap table. They take some priorities when it comes to getting their money back.
I've done some crazy mistakes with cap tables in the past, not in this company, because I've learned from my mistakes. But it can kill your company. And I always block 2 or 3 hours every week in my calendar to support founders who hit a wall with their cap table, or they need to restructure or do something. It's something that I felt the pain, and something that I'm really interested in giving back to the community, right? Because people help me, so I want to help others.
So Gilad,
so people can reach out to me if anyone is struggling. So feel free.
That's an amazing lifeline that you're offering to people right now. How could they get in touch with you, you think? What's the best way?
LinkedIn, DM. I'm happy to share my email.
LinkedIn DM. Cool. What's the email? We'll make sure we shout it out at the end of this too.
It's Gilad, Gilad, at getsequence.io.
Gilad, Gilad at getsequence.io. This is a multi 7-figure tech founder that's telling you guys that you can email him and ask him questions. Take advantage of these things, people. Okay. These are some really, really smart people on here that are offering to help you guys out completely for free just because you listen to the show. So make sure you take advantage of that, even if it's just to say hi and thank you for sharing your wisdom with us, Gilad. Like, get in touch with people.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing, man.
People, I don't know about wisdom, but I took a beating more than once. So.
That's where wisdom comes from, Gilad. That's where wisdom comes from. It's just mind blowing to me sometimes, man, because people are always waiting. You know what I mean? They're waiting for the right timing, and they're waiting for the right opportunity. They're waiting for the right mixture. Well, I don't want to reach out to Gilad yet because I don't know what I would say, and I don't have a venture that I'm really working on. It's like, so who cares? Reach out, say hello, like establish some sort of a connection, build some sort of rapport, because there's going to be some point along the way where you might need something and you might be able to reach out. But I guarantee you it's going to be more difficult. And this is just in general when it comes to relationships, it's going to be more difficult to get help when you need it if you only ever reach out when you need help. So just reach out, dig that well before you're thirsty, because you never know. So, Gilad, I want to talk to you a little bit about personal finance. You are an entrepreneur, which means that your personal finances are on the literal, roller coaster of whatever the degree of success that you're reaching in this particular entrepreneurial venture versus the last one versus what you're doing next. How do you view your personal finances in this world? You know what I mean? Like you have to pour, as a founder, you got to pour your heart and soul and basically every dime you make back into the business. How do you make sure that you're taken care of? How do you make sure your family's taken care of during these times? Because like you said, to your point earlier, some of these things don't work out. So you can't just like keep building and building and building and then all of a sudden be in your 50s and not even be able to afford your mortgage payment because you keep dumping 100% of everything you make back into every company you try to grow. How do you view the dynamic between personal finance and growing your business?
So I think that first it really depends on where you are in life, right? When I was younger, I didn't have a family, I didn't have kids. My risk appetite was much much bigger, and I couldn't take like much bigger risks. Obviously, I'm taking risks also today. I'm a firm believer in taking risks, but I do think that you really need to make sure that you have enough money to pay your mortgage when you are over 50, right? And that you can support your kids, and that you can maybe support your parents. And there's a famous, there's a Zig Ziglar, I think, said that money isn't everything, but it's right up there with oxygen, right? So it's really important. For me, that's one of the reasons why we started Sequence, because I think that if you have like some kind of a plan, and you have an intent to make sure that you take care of yourself and of your family and your loved ones, and you connect to it automation, then you are 90% done. Right?
Yeah.
Make sure that you follow you, and you don't like, obviously Sequence does that automatically, but I did it before Sequence, right? Make sure that every month or every quarter or whenever it makes sense to you, you put some money aside, you check your finances, you have a plan. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be like super simple, right? Just make sure that you know where you want to go and think of a way to get there. And again, keep it simple. It doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah, well, the cool thing about Sequence too is that you can loop in your investment accounts into this as well. So the whole idea of I forget who it was the first time I ever heard this. I'm sure it's been regurgitated thousands or hundreds of thousands of times in the personal finance space. But the idea of paying yourself first, and Sequence can actually do that for you. Is paying your future self first, rather, which is basically you can basically set up a rule in Sequence to, once money hits your account, whether it's income from your small business, which is what we use it for. We have an acai bowl shop. My wife and I have a acai bowl franchise, so we use it for that. Whether it's that or it's W-2 income, as soon as that money hits the account, that you can set up a rule in Sequence where a percentage of the money that hits the account, if the balance is greater than this total, that a percentage of this amount will go directly into this particular account. And it could be like your TD Ameritrade account. It could be your whatever brokerage account that you have set up. You can have it to where it's like first 10% of everything I make goes directly into paying my future self. What's nice about it, man, is that sometimes we think we have more money than we do because we see all of the money. Like most people just have a checking account and a savings account. And it's like when you see all of your money in a lump sum like that, it's psychologically more safe, and you feel like you have the ability to spend more than you actually do. So having your money just immediately go from being income to being put into account in an account that you can't see when you log into your mobile app on your Chase account or Wells Fargo, whatever bank that you have. I mean, that's very valuable right there. It's like the concept of you got to work like you're broke, even if you aren't broke. And the best way to do that is to look at your account and be like, oh, I'm broke, even though you're not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a percentage of your money is going over here, but if you live like you're broke, then, you tend to make fewer dumb decisions and more smart decisions along the way.
Yeah, obviously I couldn't agree more. By the way, I think that most people will have more than just checking and savings, right? Because you have mortgages, credit cards, you have Venmo, you have PayPal, you have like all those liabilities, right? Everyone will have something different, right? And so if just by looking at that, you don't really get your the full picture.
Yeah.
And again, obviously it's obvious that I will say it, but automation can really change the trajectory of your life. And the problem, and why automation is so strong, is the biggest problem is that we are human, right? It's difficult to build habits. It's difficult to follow plans. It's like, it's a struggle to go to the gym. It's a struggle to go to keep your diet, right? So we think of Sequence as a fitness app that goes to the gym for you. You don't need to think about it. Just set it up, monitor, obviously, tweak, optimize, but build the guardrails and make sure that you're building towards the future of your future, your family's future, and the people that you care about.
Yeah, man. I love that. I love that insight, is that it doesn't have to be worked out from the beginning. You just got to start with something. So start with something, open up a Sequence account, play around with the rules, move percentages different places. That's kind of the whole purpose of this show, man, is like we want people to make more money, because we really like that. The whole idea is that I see most personal finance experts just continuing to tell people to cut and save and shave money here and shave money there. And it's like, that is a path, but I'm not sure it's a path that's going to work for this current generation. Like I see these people talk about like, okay, well, if you put $150 a month in this account for 30 years, then you're going to end up with $1.2 million by the time you're 68 or whatever. And it's like, man, I know that's great.
But you had zero fun.
Exactly. It's like there's a couple of problems with that plan. Number one, I don't think that 1.2 million is going to be that much money in 30 years from now. You know what I mean? Like that's going to be like the new 100K. Like $1 million isn't going to be much by the time, like in 35 years from now. It's not going to, $1 million isn't going to do the trick. So first of all, you're underestimating how much money you're going to need at the end of your life. And then you're sacrificing all, immediate experiences and fun while you're young and postponing it for some later future date. And look, I get it. Delayed gratification is part of the journey of success. You have to be able to do that. It's not all about short-term pleasure and short-term gain. However, if you don't reward yourself along the way, then it's like, it's all part of life. You know what I mean? Like retirement isn't some magical, far off, distant date where there's, unicorns and fairy princesses and things like that. Like it's not some magical place that you reach. It's just about building a lifestyle that allows you to like work, have purpose, be fulfilled, but also be able to go take that trip with your friends. That's what I love about Sequence, is that like you don't have. It's the problem is people do it the wrong way. They're just like, okay, well, I don't want to wait till I'm 65, so I'm just going to throw this trip down on a credit card and I'll figure it out later. It's like, well, you don't have to do that. It's just that don't put the trip for 2 months from now, put the trip for 14 months from now, and then set a rule up in Sequence that says 5% or 10% of everything I make is going to go into this account, and that's my trip account. That's my fun account. That's my experiences account, whatever you want to call it. That's my make life fun now account. Whatever designation you want to put on it, that's fine. Just do it in a smarter way. You don't have to forego all fun and pleasure. It's just that if that money came out of your account and went directly into a savings account for the trip that you're going to take in 14 months from now with your friends, then that money isn't in your account to spend on more things from Amazon. It's not in your account to go spend on a new car. It's not in your account to go spend on Starbucks this month. You know what I mean? Like the money's gone. It's already taken care of. It's somewhere else where you can't touch it. It's like, just get it out of your way, but set it up in a smarter way to where you can still have fun now while still thinking about the future. You can do both. You just have to do it a little bit more intentionally if you're not making enough money. Then the secondary rule becomes, well, how do we get the income part to go up so that there's more delta here? So it's not $150 a month going into this savings account, going into my retirement account. It's $2,500 a month going into my retirement account, and I can still go spend on that trip to Hawaii this year. You know, like, so it's figure out, like, get disciplined first, build a plan, build some rules, build some things inside of Sequence that will do this automated for you so you don't have to think about it, and then focus the majority of the rest of your personal finance attention on how do we increase the income piece, because that's like the highest leverage activity that you can do. That's the best lever that you can pull, is just increasing income.
I think that just by having a plan and making sure that you're doing the right thing for you, I think that the word intentional is very important here. It will also give you the peace of mind to take bigger risks, right? Because starting a business is a risk, or doing anything has some degree of risk to it. So if you have this safety net, and if you know that you're building towards something that you understand what's going on, you can take bigger risks and you can make more money.
Yes, exactly. Well, and I mean, like I said, Sequence could even be the thing that helps you do that. You want to start a business on the side? Well, be intentional. Set the dollar amount. What's the dollar amount that you want to have completely in a rainy day fund, a savings account fund that will allow you to pursue this thing that you've been doing on the side for the last 3 years? How much money do you need to have set aside in order for you to be able to pursue that thing full time if that's what you want to do? I need 50 grand. Great. Okay. Well, set the rule. Set the target, 50 grand, set the target, 100 grand, whatever it is, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months of personal expenses, whatever it is, set the plan, move your money around, and command your money, like be the general of your money army. Tell your money where to go. Because if you do not give your money a job, it will find a job somewhere else.
Evaporate into thin air.
Yeah, exactly. It'll find its way into TikTok shop. You know what I mean? Like you'll just have $700 in little like trinkets and coffee mugs you're not going to use if you don't tell your money where to go.
Exactly. By the way, we are seeing, like, when people build their maps in Sequence, we get like a glimpse into the way that they think of money and how they think about the future. Right? You see people saving towards like starting a business, getting like wedding, house, new car. You see, we had somebody who used Sequence to save for IVF, right? Which is crazy to me, So it's very, very exciting, and you can really learn a lot about people in the way that they set up their Sequence. So it's very interesting.
Well, there's that, ancient wisdom from the Bible. Where your money is, that's where your heart is. So it'll show you really quickly where you what you believe in, what you love, what you stand for. If you can see where people's money's going, that's for sure. Gilad, what's next, man? What do you want to do with Sequence? Is fintech the space you wanted to be in? Like what are you doing next?
I think that first of all, we started the company. I grew up in a middle class family, never had anything that I ever wanted or needed. But my dad had made good money, both my parents, but they weren't intentional, right? And when they hit a certain age, I think that they could have a much better lifestyle now, right? So that's one of the motivations for us to start that. I'm very passionate about giving people access to that. And again, the combination of just a little bit of guidance, intent, and a lot of automation can change the trajectory of people's lives. And we are seeing that. The mission for Sequence from the very first second was to improve people's lives through their financial well-being. And we are successful in doing that. And we know that because people are telling us. We are getting love letters, like everyday love letters. We have a vibrant community of people who are sharing their maps, sharing their strategies. They jump on Zooms to show others how they build their maps. It's very, very exciting. And to be honest, this is where I feel huge satisfaction, right? When you help somebody get out of debt, start investing, or saving towards starting his business, or we actually have couples that are using Sequence, and we've heard it more than once. Like people come to us and say, since we both started Sequence, we don't fight over money anymore. We know what's going on. We have visibility. So it's a communication tool. So yeah, very exciting. Obviously, still early days. We are about to hit $1 billion that we routed through Sequence. So early, but not that early. And again, just getting the love from our community. That's what I get most excited about.
Gilad, I really appreciate you coming on the show, man. This is a perfect conversation. Number one, because this is an entrepreneurial venture. You're an entrepreneur and you've learned how to make more money in your life than most people. So that's awesome. But also, you ended up building a tool that helps other people with their finances and helps them figure out how they can attack their plan a little bit better. So thank you for taking the time to come on the show today. Gilad, where can people go to get more from you and from Sequence?
So I'm very active on LinkedIn. We have as I said, crazy active community on Discord of people who just like share everything that they do on Sequence. I'm going to leave my email if anyone needs help with anything like VC related, restructuring, pay to play, all the painful parts. I've been through them, and again, it's a personal mission of mine to help people who are in this difficult point in their journey. So feel free to reach out. GetSequence.io. Check it out.
GetSequence.io. It's a tool that I'm using inside of my small business as well as my own personal finances. I highly recommend checking it out. I've used probably a dozen different finance apps. This one's my favorite so far. So Gilad, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show, as well as share some wisdom with us. So everybody else listening, tune in. Remember, money only solves your money problems. But it's a little bit easier to solve the rest of your problems if you got some money in the bank. So let's solve that problem first here on the Travis Makes Money podcast. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out.